For centuries, the African continent has been ravaged by a brutal trade in human lives. Millions of men, women and children were torn from their homes, families and cultures, forced on a horrific and inhumane journey across the Atlantic, known as the Middle Passage. This is their story. It all started with capture. Slave raiders, often aided by local chiefs, descended on unsuspecting villages, using violence and intimidation to round up the people. Families were torn apart, lives destroyed in an instant. Imagine the terror, the confusion, the utter despair. Those captured were then forced on arduous marches to the coast, often in chains and subjected to brutal treatment. Many perished from exhaustion, disease or starvation along the way. Once ashore, captives were crammed into the holds of slave ships. These vessels, designed to maximize profit, were floating prisons of unimaginable cruelty. Hundreds of people were crammed into spaces with barely enough room to breathe. Disease, hunger, and despair were rampant. The Middle Passage, the journey across the Atlantic, could take months. During that time, countless lives were lost to disease, malnutrition, and suicide. Those who survived faced an uncertain future in a foreign land. Upon arrival in the Americas, the survivors were subjected to the dehumanizing process of being sold at auction. Stripped naked, examined like cattle, their bodies and abilities were assessed and auctioned off. Families were further torn apart, individuals reduced to commodities. This event, from capture to auction block, represented one of the darkest chapters in human history. It is a story of cruelty, resilience, and the sad capacity of the human spirit. It is a story that must be told, lest we forget the horrors of the past and repeat the mistakes of our ancestors.